So I was born in Yakima, born and raised. Lived here my whole life, and I have two sisters. My parents, they got a divorce around when I was 12 years old. Um, in third grade, I gained a bunch of weight, and teasing at school became relentless. I've heard all the fat jokes in the book, and this continued throughout my whole life until about 10th grade. And this is where rejection started to build up in me, insecurities about myself built up in me. And soon after, around fourth grade, I discovered pornography, and that became an addiction in my life. I also had my first sexual experience around fourth or fifth grade. And all I knew was that it made me feel better than anything I had ever experienced before that. So I started to relate sexual experiences with feeling better about myself. And fast forwarding, in 2010, I met my wife, Amanda. 2 years later, in 2012, we got married. And soon after that, we began experiencing intimacy issues, and those feelings of rejection and not being good enough started to surface again. Soon after that, I began soliciting women online and paying for sex. About 6 years, and it happened several times over several period of years. In June 2018, I got caught and my sin was exposed. We were separated for a while. I moved into my mom's house, and I remember either the first or second night I was there, I fell to my knees in the bedroom, crying out to God for His forgiveness. I didn't really understand it then, but I was compelled to do that. I was convicted to do that. And then soon after that, I started attending church at Yakima Foursquare and Celebrate Recovery on Friday nights. So this is where I really started to understand forgiveness, started to understand addiction. My wife also started attending with me. Side by side, we were doing this together, and she really started to see the changes in me, the changes that God was doing in me. And quickly, we became leadership in Celebrate Recovery. Dave and Diane asked us to be a part of leadership, and before we knew it, we were in California at a Celebrate Recovery Summit, and it happened so fast. And I believe when we got called, we didn't have time to think about it. We just jumped in head first and started our journey. And here 4 years later, we're still serving as leaders in Celebrate Recovery. Not just being forgiven, but forgiving others. To me, that means that that I don't have to bear the weight on my shoulders. Jesus bears that weight for us. When I bear that weight, temptations are a lot easier to be succumb to. And I just feel a freedom that no matter what happens, if I'm wronged and I forgive somebody, that I'm not going to go back down the path that I went before. I have the tools now to fight that.